Hey, you've been chocolate winner, okay. Augmented Eye. Ig, the final remaster leads the video game charts. The newest remaster of 2016 Zig, a postmodern RPG, opens the charts this week with 3.5 million copies shipped on its launch day. Other titles this week include new releases such as Hatsune Miku Project Remaster and Sting's Face Remastered. Okay. What was it? Dang it, round. Woman marries anime pillow. Nobody's actually surprised. I remember a time when wacky stuff like this made a lot of headlines, but even though I'm reporting on it, I can't help but think how mundane it's become. I mean, we live in a world where you can just plug into the internet and live there for as long as your wallet can afford related fees. Lots of people get married in these virtual spaces. Thanks to the new technologies, the traditional views on human relationships have changed so much that someone marrying a literal object feels kind of tame now. Wanna marry? Can marry your own son. If the pillow had some form of intelligence, it might be somewhat different, but it's just a plain generic anime hug pillow. Get with the times, grandma. First space colony plans to develop its own army. Even though Alice Rabbit is in space too, amazing. Even though space was imagined as the promised land, a place where humanity would start over, it looks like we're about to repeat our mistakes from the past. The first space colony, Shin Outer Paradise, is currently in talks to develop its own privately owned army, following alleged threats from a notorious terrorist group. We're discussing it right now, but the law is most likely approved. We'll have an army and will defend our motherland from any terrorist threat. Alice Rabbit chimed in during a private stream. This terrorist group does not exist. Don't let the Outer Paradise government fool you. The only reason for this law is so they can have more control over the population. This is the third final this year, okay? Let's go to work. Evening. Ah, Jill, I'm out to get firecrackers. Firecrackers? It's New Year's, right? We need some. Wouldn't firecrackers scare off the do... Yeah, good idea, go ahead. I'll be back in a bit. Even for a cat lover, you sure get excited about firecrackers a whole lot more when dogs are involved. I know how hypocritical it sounds and I don't care. Ah, Jamie's here. Greetings. Anyway, let's start. Time to mix drinks and change lives. Ah, the guy that wouldn't come back twice. Yeah, shut up. By any chance, did something fly over here 2 weeks ago? On Friday? Yes. There were lots of weird explosion noises throughout the night. But as far as I understand, those were made by a flying drone or something like that. We flew by here. I take it you know what made the noise? Let's just keep it at whatever drone story you heard. Right. The noise got annoying after a while, I must say. So it remained in the vicinity? I don't know what counts as in the vicinity, but yeah. Distant explosions all night. Interesting, so it didn't get far away. Now get me a Mars Blast. Couldn't come back twice. All blended. I messed something up. H1. Oh. There we go. Here you go. Well, you didn't mess up. Sorry if I may interject. You looking for a fight? Most certainly not. You really think you'd stand a chance? You're like half his size. I can fight dirty. He kills people for a living. I can fight dirty. Jail, please. You make me sound like a savage. It would be like me saying that you get people drunk for a living. It's not wrong, but there are better ways of saying stuff like that. You're right, sorry. And like I said, I'm not looking for a fight. I just noticed you seem to like strong drinks. What about it? Well, to be honest, it's a rare sight in this bar. I'd even come to believe I'm the only one here who enjoys them aside from the owner. May I suggest you try a suplex next time? It might be to your liking. Okay, let's try this suplex thing, right? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. No, rocks. Thanks. Here. Good stuff. Like a less burning but punchier pile driver. Hey, your face looks somehow familiar, mister. Call me Jamie, and you are? I'm Ingram. Anyway, I think I saw your face somewhere. Maybe when I needed to look for a specific file at... Did you perhaps go through a nanomachine expunge? I did actually. Figured as much, only a handful of people do that. And almost all of them are people with nanomachine rejection that feel oddly suicidal. So why go through the whole thing? Rejection? Need to hide something? The second one. It's easier to remain undetected when they have no means to track you or your activity. I see. How does the expunge work? You lie in a pressure chamber and they give you a special IV solution. It causes nanomachine rejection while giving you the antibodies needed to prevent them from getting back in. For 5 hours you're trapped in bed while a horrible pressure builds up in your body and nanomachines are forced out. They're like little needles all over your body. You feel them in your eyes, in your gums, in your toes, everywhere. And after all that, they need to implant you with a mechanism that constantly releases the same antibodies. Ouch. What are you having, Jamie? This is a gut punch. Yeah, I should have figured. Hey, give me one of those. Sure. We're just punching the guy a lot. 5, 1, 1, H. Here. Yeah, I love this. It looks different from yours though. I had a couple of extra in his actually. So where's the antibody unit they stuck you with, Jamie? Inside, like all other maintenance systems. It can be troublesome at times, but the perks of not having nanomachines in the body outweigh the cons. And the rest of the enhancements, were you reconstructed or have you been adding them over time? Over time, either by getting a much needed enhancement or through fixing injuries. I see. Well, it was a pleasure, Jamie, but I gotta leave. Nice meeting you, Ingram. Please come again? Don't count on it. You've said that twice. Shut up. Seems like a nice guy. Right. I won't call him a bastard, but he's not the nicest in the bunch. Maybe you caught him on a bad day? No, I think you're just that good at bringing out the nicer side of people. Oddly enough, that guy tires the hell out of me. Someone's in a good mood. Give me a bad touch, will you? That way you'll be in a good mood too. This is a bad touch farmer. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here. Jill, you have such a petty sense of humor. Guilty as charged. So what put you in a good mood? Oh yeah, that. Today my sister was supposed to be in court for all the custody proceedings. Of course, not only does she show up later than her husband and drunk at that, but also dressed like she got effed in the back of a parking lot. And to top it off, she forgot to even bring her kids. Luckily, my parents brought them to court. The judge assigned the kids to my parents for the time being. So she really messed it up, huh? When they came back to the house and Diana started throwing a temper tantrum, she said it was lucky her husband didn't get the kids because the yanks would make her jump onto the highway. So Eva comes and says, then make sure it kills you because we aren't dealing with you as a cripple. I shouldn't reinforce that behavior, but I don't know, maybe it was the timing, but I've been laughing for an hour now. You hold quite the animosity for Diana, don't you? She and I used to be the closest friends when I was 7 or 8. We played all the time, we even slept on the same bed for a while. Then she turned into a teen. We stopped playing, she had other things she wanted to do. I could forgive all of that, I mean the age difference and all. But there is something in particular I still can't forgive. It was the day she invited her friends to the house and I went to ask her something. As I was leaving, one of her friends asked if I was her sister, and she said she had no little sisters. Ouch. I think that was the moment that finally broke the pedestal I held her on. I admire her as much as a kid could admire someone, you know? Little by little that admiration wore off until we finally reached that breaking point. I felt betrayed. And you haven't been able to forgive her after 40 years? Hey, it's not that I still hold a grudge against her, but rather the Diana who said all those things so many years ago is the same Diana that I know today. How so? She hasn't matured one bit. She's still as selfish, childish and immature as she was back then. When you see her, you don't see an adult, you see an overgrown, horny teen. So aside from destroying any admiration I held for her, please make sure not to fix that impression. Huh? But enough about me, how are you? Everything's fine aside from this note. A note? Remember how I told you I lashed out at my dead girl, dead ex's sister? Yeah. I got this note from her. Let's see. Wow, she must really feel bad about the whole thing. As do I. So what's the problem then? The same fear that drove me away from her in the first place. Right. Give up Brentini, will you? There's a little story I wanna tell you. Right. Here. This is the thing. Let's start. Boo! Oh hell no. This is the story of a girl who grew disillusioned with one of her sisters. Soon it became animosity, and not long after that she distanced herself completely from said sister. With time, the girl would become attached to her elder sister, looking up to her achievements. All I can look at right now are those boobs. Not now. Said sister would never marry the girl's best friend, not soon. Would even marry the girl's best friend not soon after. And after the girl went to college, said sister would quit her job. The sister was worried sick about leaving her baby kid alone, prompting her to quit her high-ranking job. What if I hire your high-ranking lips? Shut up. The girl, even as an adult, felt betrayed. Her role model sister went against everything she held her in high esteem for. She was no longer a child, and yet she felt like a part of her had crumbled. Hey yo, I can lift her sweater. Do you wanna see? I bet you wanna see. Alright, enough. Enough? Peace out. I mean, I know the girl is you and the sister is your elder sister. Please get to the point. Right. The point is, if you don't face her, she will be heavily disappointed. She's trying to make amends with you. That must take courage. Lots of it. Yeah, you're right. My mouth dry. Can I get a beer? Right. A beer. Here. Thanks. So tell me, did you and this Gabby girl get along? Oh yeah. I never had brothers and sisters, but once Lenore introduced me to her as her sister-in-law, she got so excited about having a new sister that she clung to me a lot. I helped her in her studies, read books with her, played with her a lot. She was pretty much my sister too. I have to leave, but I'll tell you this. As both a big and little sister, if you don't grant that girl the chance of talking to you, I'll never forgive you. Yeah. Oh, there's a small New Year's party this Saturday if you're interested. Oh sure, I'll be here. Remember, I won't forgive you. Yeah. I'll go take my break. Alright. You were here. You were quite absorbed in the conversation just now. Jamie even said goodbye to you, didn't you hear? Anyways, call me if anything comes up. It's less chilly today. Jill, a kid's looking for you. Oh shit. Hey. Ah, Norma. You're back. Oh, you. You do know I'm not giving you any drinks, right? Crap, I said it out loud. Yeah, actually, I wanted to thank you. You thought it was for her? Thank me? Well, for starters, but not complying and giving me alcohol. Everything else would have fallen apart if I had some. Ah, so responsible, yo. I kinda faced my mom and told her about the pressure she was putting on me, and said I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. And, well, she didn't speak to me for 2 days. After that, she told me that I'd be a waste to spend money in a university just for me to not give it my all. So she told me to still go to the college course, but that I was free to explore. Glad to hear that. And well, I wanted to thank you for that. Me? If I just rushed headfirst into my original plan, things would have gotten ugly. And you were right, I would be hurting her for the sake of hurting. So thank you. Don't worry about it. I'll leave before it's too late outside. Be careful. Ah, so sweet. Shut up. Hey Jill, mind having me here? Sure. Make a bleeding drain, please. On it. Thanks. Hey Joe, do you hate me? Hate is a harsh word. It's not against you directly, but rather the fact that only I can see you. Like I told you, if they wanted, they could see me. And why can I? You're the main character, you know? What are you? A cute girl. Right. You okay, Jill? Making a lot of faces there. Yeah, just remembering stuff. Could you give me a hand here and serve a beer, please? Sure. Thanks. Would you lighten up if I showed you I can interact with the environment? Maybe it'll spook me, but let's try. There. Can't see anything. You sure? Yep. Weird. Nobody expects the Dorothy Inquisition. Dorothy Inquisition, Dorothy Inquisition, Dorothy... Ouch, I bit my tongue. Can't believe I'm using the spare tongue so early in the night. Ahem. Honey! Ah, hey Dorothy. I'm making a quick stop for a drink. Can I get a fluffy dream? Sure. Thanks. Oh yeah, before you leave. What, are you guys throwing a New Year's party too? Yep. Sure, I'll be here then. Well, I've got things to do, so... You do? Who does what? Sorry, I sneezed. Weird sneezes. Anyway, I'm out for now. Oh yeah, Joe? Take care of Becky, please. Man, she was in a rush. Okay, I have that noise. Fireworks are sold out everywhere. I need to get them through more shady means. It's gonna buy them from the internet. He'll find them and put us all at risk of burning. I'll make sure there's an extra extinguisher at hand. Please. Well, I guess that's it for today. You sure you're fine? I am, don't worry. Hey Jill, mind if I ask you a silly question? You've seen my clients, you can assume I don't mind silly questions. Silly answers can get on my nerves though. Sorry, what did you wanna ask? Do you know why they call them cat boomers? I mean, I guess their second set of ears looks like a cat's, but... The word boomer seems so out of place. Not so much when you consider it's not them but their parents who were called such. Oh. Let's go a bit back first. You don't know why cat boomers look like that, right? Because they went through some anti-nanomachine rejection treatment while they were still a fetus, right? It's called the Yamazaki-Romanova treatment. Or was it the Romaneko-Yamada treatment? The Roma... let's call it the catification procedure. It was not only the first successful genetic treatment on a fetus but also the first way to fight nanomachine rejection. Moreover, that research had a bit of a rocky story. Funding had cut in the middle of it with a critical point that could make or break the whole thing. Not to mention Zaibatsu Corp, the record of not addressing nanomachine rejection at all. The rest of the research was funded by Maki Stankovic. Let's call him Stankovic for now. He's a businessman whose unborn daughter got diagnosed with early nanomachine rejection. Stankovic funded the research, and in a desperate move his wife offered herself and her daughter as test subjects. Of course, the experiment was a success. The girl, Sylvia Stankovic, didn't die. She became the living testament of a scientific breakthrough. But then the story of how things played out for Sylvia got sensationalized in the media and created a weird fad. Sylvia. She was in Read-Only Memories, wasn't she? Parents made their unborn children go through the catification procedure even if they had no ailments at all. All because one particular girl whose life got saved through that treatment became a media darling for a bit. A whole generation of kids with those cat-like protrusions got born. And their parents got called cat boomers. A generation of parents obsessed with those cat-like features. The fad quickly passed, but the term remained in use. Eventually, cat boomer just started being used for people with the protrusions instead of their parents. You keep calling them protrusions, why is that? Because that's what they are. Eh? You didn't think those things on their heads were ears, right? Sure, they can be moved because they're somehow connected to the facial and ear muscles, thus they can move like a cat's and react to their mood, but in the end they're just appendages with no real function. Huh? It still surprises me a bit though that the biggest mutation they got they get after the treatment is just that. Those ears are a small miracle on their own. People who have been born with no eyes for less intrusive procedures. You really thought they were functional ears, huh? Let's say I learned quite a bit today. Thank you. Don't worry, I feel like I should apologize for talking so much instead. And keep in mind, I'm effing up the terms. I don't want you saying someone got protrusions because of a catification procedure. I'll keep it in mind. Wait. What? Yeah, the guy's name was Stankovic. Eh? I just remembered, Sylvia Stankovic was around my age, and when I was a teen there were some TV specials featuring her. And I just remember that I had the biggest crush on her. Now that I think about it, that crush had me very confused back then. And did you need to shout just now? Sorry. In any case, I'm out for the day. Alright, careful out there. Mickey posters, okay. Let's buy a poster. You've been talking a lot with that Alma girl. Jealous? Surviving in Glitch City. Any tips for a new friend in this wonderful land? Oh boy. Self-deprecating Fred. Don't trust in white knights and don't go out after 5 PM unless you want to get mugged or murdered. Bring a portable chair everywhere. You'll have to line up for flour, lol. Get used to it, what you find, shortages are getting out of hand. I've been eating rice with butter for months now, but I guess it could be worse. Don't jinx it please, I have enough as it is. So coming here was a mistake. Why would you come here anyway? Visiting family, but now I want to take them out. Do it while you can. Yeah, airlines are leaving the city. Well, soon we won't even be able to escape. Crying. Can I even get some wheat in this crap hole somewhere? Yeah, I just PM'd you a good dealer. That bar called Valhalla, is it any good? I need a place to unwind after work. Work? Normies are taking over, huh? Sure, everyone is a neat, just like me. Anyway, place is cool, but the bartender can be a bit of a dick. Also, never been there, so I wouldn't know. Is she cute? I can take it if she's cute. She's cute, but I think she's a bit full of herself. The guy seems a bit more of a bro. I see you already had a conversation with her. Did she reject your advances? Nah, I just heard from the distance. So is that a no? Kind of. I mean, if you're going there just to chat. I just want a place to chill for a bit and meet new people. Can I smoke there? Is there any bar from the BTC where you can smoke? Nope. Bummer. Well, I think I'm going next week then. Sounds good enough for me. Yeah, okay. BTC closing 40% of its bars in Leeds City. The British Trademark Council is facing some economic troubles in Glitch City and it looks like they're on their way out. Blaming rising inflation rates and a weak currency, the BTC has given the order to disband almost half of its recreational businesses in the city. We can't keep doing business like this. Glitch City has a negative impact in our earnings and we can't continue in the red. A PR representative told the Augmented Eye. Prime Minister Quincy, on the other hand, thinks the BTC is just too greedy. They make a lot of money already and now they're crying because they can't have more. Give me a break. Wearing socks with sandals in public is now a crime. I like to say we have the freedom to wear whatever you like in the streets of Glitch City so long as we adhere to decency rules. However, that's about to change. Glitch City's Department of Public Decency has declared that wearing socks and sandals together is a punishable crime. If convicted, the guilty face 3 days in jail as punishment for using that abominable combo. But what do you think? Should we wear whatever we want, or should the fashion police or high society decide for you? Whatever the case, I think I'll simply stick to the right side of the battle. Goodbye socks and sandals. Birth rates decrease as the youth prefers Lilium Company. At the beginning of the century, the idea that people would rather be with robots instead of other humans was treated as a joke. But the reality is that the convenience of these kinds of relationships have become immensely popular among glitch cities youth, to the point where birth rates are beginning to decrease at an alarming rate. Anime, a 17-year-old student, agrees with the general sentiment. It's just so much better than dealing with other people, you know? You can just make your own perfect partner. Oh, and sex is amazing. Don't even get me started. It's expected that new regulations will soon be announced to address the situation. Being only vigilant can be tiring. Evening. Hey. Okay, so we've got almost everything, but we're still missing a couple of things for Saturday. And so I designate you, Gillian Applegate, as official guy who goes to buy the rest of the stuff. Applegate? I have no idea who that is. Why me? I could send Jill, but I wouldn't dare send a lady by herself. And I could go with her, but I believe the bar should have at least 2 people in the vicinity at all times. You're not gonna say anything, Jill? If it means not being delivery girl, I'm happy to fake helplessness. Fine, give me that list. I'll be back sometime. Something tells me you're planning something, boss. What gives you that impression? Call it a gut feeling. Did you know Gil has a crush? He what? A client of his, a girl that owns a bazaar. She's been coming on to him for ages and he's only just started opening up. But he's taking steps backward and I'm not gonna let him. He's opening up for F's sake. And so the errands will take him to the bazaar, I take it. That's right. Huh? Alright then, to the office I go. As for me, time to mix drinks and change lives. Gil with a crush, huh? This place, great. Oh, if it isn't... Hey Jill, sorry, but is there anywhere I can hide? There's an unpleasant guy on my trail. Boss, stalked woman incoming. The door's open. Go ahead, the door to the left. Thanks. Hello there. Oh, hi there. The other one, that's the bathroom. Wait, what's the dog doing in the bathroom? Now, where did she... Oh, the hellhole, perfect. Hey kid, I'll have the usual. Right. Oh, he remembered him after 2 weeks. He likes beer. Lots and lots of beer. That much I remember. Here. This seems right. The paper's been a mess lately. You think with all that's happening they'd stay and do more reports. But they're all asking for vacations and I can't afford to be understaffed. So I had to come up with some sort of reward for whoever produces the most reports. I see no difference in my feed though. Mr. Donovan, I don't mean to sound rude, but you do know the infamy of the augmented eye with the general public, right? A shitty page that will over-sensationalize anything and report useless things. Of course I know. Then why not try to rectify that image? To put it simply, I'm being clutched by the balls in the non-pleasant way. Zaibatsu Corp and company have an eye on every publication they haven't bought yet. Report on them once and they'll find something to fine you with. Twice and you'll find your resources severely cut. Anything beyond that, and the best case scenario is that they'll buy the damn operation to keep it quiet. I know there are more newsworthy things than whatever it is the lag is picked up that week. But if I overstep, my ass is on the line. Glad to see this hellhole is still in one piece. The BTC has been going apeshit closing bars lately. Oh yeah, that. Yesterday they closed one that served as a key part of a drug trafficking ring. And last week they closed three small bars that served as illegal chicken restaurants. What the hell is an illegal chicken restaurant? Huh? Not to mention there are like 100 people who have BTC certificates but never use them. Instead, they keep those credentials around to stop police from raiding their homes or warehouses. I don't know about you, but it's obvious to me that some restructuring will begin at the BTC after this whole thing. Man, shit ran deeper than I thought. And no news outlet talks about that. Alright kid, let's try a Moonblast now. Come again? Hey, even I have to break the routine from time to time. Given he likes his beer large, maybe I can make this large as well. Here. Now let's see what the ruckus is about. So, what brought you here? Oh right, didn't you see a Lilium coming in here? Blue hair, big tits. He's the one from the Encore concert coming up. Not really. Did she jump to the roof then? Why were you looking for her? Did you want an interview? Not really, just hitting on her. Hey, I said hitting on her, not hitting her. Stop glaring. Why though? Are you that bored? Don't you have like a family or something? Have you seen that girl? Hottest tits. Also hot ass and tits. I'm suffering the weirdest combo being hard as F and curious as shit right now. I want to know just how detailed those king class CH1A models are, personally. And so you followed her. I've yet to meet a woman that can resist the charms of Donovan D. Dawson. You're in front of one, and I'm guessing you have quite the selective memory. Like I said, don't you have a family or something? A wife, but that woman cheats on me as much as I cheat on her. In fact, I'm pretty convinced she gets off on the thought of me cheating on her. So that Lilium isn't here, huh? I'll have to find a busty enough replacement tonight or I'll explode. Hey, after you're done glaring, please serve me a pile driver. Right. Pile driver. Here. Alright. Well, seeing as she's not here, I have no reason to stay. Maybe I'll find someone that looks a bit like her. The guy left. Oh, alright. Thanks for sheltering me, Dinah. Hope your sister looks like the video. Hope your sister likes the video. No, thank you. Seems you had a hearty talk. Your boss is such a fun person. Her sister is a fan of mine, so I recorded a small video for her and took a couple of photos. How nice of you. It's nothing really, and she did hide me, so it's the least I could do. But well, we're here already. Mind give me something sweet? Sure. Sweet, sweet. I think this should work. Age and mix. Here. Thanks. So do you know why Donovan was following you? I don't, but I wasn't in the mood to deal with him. His questions were a bit over the line last time too. Not the worst I've dealt with, but I just didn't want to humor him. I see. Seems like he was just trying to come on to you. You don't say. Well, not like he'd have a chance anyways. I'm not into older guys and I'm already committed to a relationship. Figure, wait, you are? It's not common knowledge and the ones that hear it try to dismiss it as rumor, but I've been in a relationship with my producer for a while now. Really? We were both single and that kind of stuff is bound to happen when you spend so much time together. But it all started when he read an entry I made in my blog about wanting to experience love and the like. He offered to help with that after he read it and I thought sure, why not? I already knew him well enough, it wouldn't hurt to try. How nice. He's a stick in the mud where planning is due, but he's a sweetheart otherwise. I see. Hey, can you really walk so calmly? The streets aren't exactly safe. Really? I haven't faced any issues lately. Sure, they've tried to mug me once or twice, but it's no big deal. No big deal, they tried to mug you? What? Every time someone tries to mug me, somebody pops out of somewhere and stops it. Makes me feel like I'm always protected. Those are some hardcore stalkers. I guess the fact that she ran away from Donovan even after all that says something. Hey, this will sound familiar, but do you have anything like tea? Let me see. Tea-like. We don't have anything tea-like, I think, but bitter but girly. Sunshine Cloud. And I know she generally doesn't like alcohol. Oops, messed that one up. Here. Yeah, this works. Hey, you're a King class CH1A, right? That I am. May I ask you something about your model? Sure. Are there any differences between you and a DFC-72? We both serve the same purpose, but DFC-72 have the port on their heads which makes them more versatile. My line lacks that or the resilience of the DT-01Ds, but we're a tad more polished elsewhere. More specifically, our voice emulators are more advanced and our movements are smoother. A trade-off of functionality and power for appearance, you could say. Ah, I see. So anything new for this concert? Well, it is an encore, so we're trying to make it the same for those that couldn't go to the first one. But we always try to spice it up, like maybe with a surprise song or something. There was this one time I sang a cover of a song by Billing. Of course, in return they sang Your Love is a Drug. Ah. So not the Billing girls? Really nice kids, you'd be surprised how different from their onstage personas they are. Really? Suzu, for example, can be really childish at times, she also laughs a lot and loudly at that. Meanwhile, Aina is a party girl through and through. If they're not on tour, she spends her time partying like crazy. Hard to believe, I mean, their image is that of stoic girls with little expression. Almost like living Victorian dolls or something. Well, they wanted to pop out in the public. They once told me if we want people to notice us, we have to break the cutesy idol concept. And so they took the opposite route of by becoming cool beauties with melancholic songs. I wouldn't say they went the opposite way. The opposite of cutesy idols would be unkempt, tone-deaf girls spewing vitriol and hate. True, I guess. Well, I've gotta go, but let's have a Sparkle Star first. Alright. All age and mix. Here. Sparkling! Well, it's always a pleasure, Jill. Please come again. Will do. Oh, the handsome bartender. Nice to see you. Boss, Gil's back. I'll take my break. Alright. Note to self. Buy oil for that door. Alright then. Gil, you're in my spot, please. Oh, sorry. Also, you're cleaning one of boss's chicken buckets? Did boss ask you to do that? Oops. If I told you she did, would you believe me? Without a doubt. Let's go with that then. Right. Greetings! Ah, Stella, what can I get you? I'll go with the Bleeding Jane today. One, two, three. All blended. Here you go. Thank you. What brought you here today? Waiting for Sai? I came by myself actually. I was in the area and stopped to say hi. Oh! Pretty interesting though. When I first saw you, I doubted you'd ever come here again. Well, this place is comfortable, I must admit. So quiet and secluded. It's also clean, really clean. Gil is the one you can owe that to. The guy takes pride in how clean he keeps things around here. If you ever need cleaning staff, he's a nice pick. Really? He's a bit out of it today though. I see. Hey Jill, have you heard of the new gold rush in the city? Gold rush? Everyone is paying small fortunes to get their hands on pieces of white knight suits. I think I heard or read something about that, but I'm having doubts, so probably not. In any case, how is it a gold rush? Well, the tag behind the suits was always safely guarded, but after the events at the bank... Sorry. After the events at the bank, the suits were remotely shut down, breaking many of them in the process. Many units dropped their armor right there and fled when the lynchings went on. Any white knights still stuck in their suit had to take the armor off manually to run away. It all happened in the middle of the lynchings, so they'd be sitting ducks if they didn't. Some weren't that lucky, they got beaten up while they weren't able to move. So between the suits becoming glorified paperweights and many white knights going on the run, there ended up being a lot of junk lying around. But the whole scientific community is rejoicing. They're on a race to reverse engineer the suits and take as much technology as possible from them. And of course, even single pieces of the armor fetch a high price these days. Could anyone see any profit from that research to justify those expenses? It's new tech, a whole new field ripe with patents just opened for many, so it's a yes. Huh? I mean, the BTC is literally a conglomerate built upon patents and trademarks, I can see how. There is one weird case though. There is this guy named Jack. He's the captain of a very unique Blitzkrieg Corps unit. Unique? The guy had a really small unit, 5 people including himself. The aesthetics of his unit's armor was heavily modded to the point that they looked like a squad of Henshin heroes. Hen what? They looked really gaudy. But it turned out that the guy actually broke through the software and disabled the remote switch. He has one of the few, if not the only, suits of armor with the OS intact. To say they're among the most wanted people would be an understatement. I know a lot about this. It's interesting the amount of things you hear when dealing with drunk people of all kinds in the same place. It also helps to put on a front that makes people lower their guard. That should sound familiar to you. True? Wait. Here's a freebie, a fun fact. The failsafe was originally going to involve the armor blowing up and leaving no traces. But regulations and laws didn't allow that kind of technology near the civilians. I guess even Zaibatsu Corp has its limits, huh? People love to demonize Zaibatsu Corp because, let's face it, they're far from innocent. But they're not evil overlords, they're just greedy. They're just a big corporation. They just so happen to have control over what tantamounts to a city-state. But corporations will naturally resort to draconian methods. I've heard horror stories from people outside the city about trying to use product placement. If you so much as hold a bottle the wrong way to get in the way of a logo, you'll be in for lots of trouble. And let's not start with theme parks or the like, those are dystopias of their own. Then again, most of the demonization is due to Quincy being such a clown. He has no power anyways. It's just the front that whatever council behind Zaibatsu Corp choose. He makes a fool of himself and the attention is taken away from whatever it is that Zaibatsu Corp is actually doing. Yeah. So what you were saying is that Glitch City is basically a huge theme park. I've called the White Knights glorified mall security in the past, so yeah? No, seriously, Hen what? Ahem. Can I get a Brantini here, please? Sure. All flustered. Wow, that was too fast. Thanks. So I take it you're in a good mood today. Does it show? A bit. Yeah, well, I managed to nab a couple of tickets for the Kiramiki Encore concert. Nice. Oh right, as it turns out she was just here. Again? I'm sorry. Again? Can't believe I just missed her. I was surprised too, I was more surprised she remembered my name though. And like last time, she was quite the graceful client. Man, so those rumors about her being really nice in person were actually true. Amazing. I mean, you always want the famous people to be nice in real life. Do you? But having such backing to that claim, to hear that she's so nice to everyone, it's nice to hear, you know? In fact, many think that's what made her so famous so quickly. How she's down to earth and totally accessible, making her someone everyone wants to root for. Ah, I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't want to feel like you're supporting crappy people. Although, to be honest, I've never put much thought into that one. Hell, half the time I have no idea who made what I use, nor do I care much. Being a nice person will take you far though. My daddy always insists that being ruthless in the boardroom doesn't mean being an ass. That's true. And he has actually managed to get certain contracts over other more powerful people. All thanks to being a nice guy overall. Sounds like good advice. But more importantly, daddy? Ahem. She's so flustered. Do you really believe me saying she was just here that easily? You're not the kind to lie about stuff like that, so sure. Thanks, I guess. I was hoping that maybe... That said, can you go to the concert too so easily? What about security and the like? My dad always has a unit keeping an eye on me from a distance. And you'd be surprised at how easily I can disguise myself with just a different hairdo and a cap. I see. I wonder if I could get in the disabled time with Sei and her wounds. Although she'll probably nag me about how she doesn't need it and we shouldn't abuse that. Hey, can you get me a classic drink? Sure. Classic. Is there anything more classic than a beer? Let's give her this. Here. Thank you. Do you have many servants around the house, Stella? I do, but they've been with us for so long they're pretty much family. My dad has always said that if you earn someone's trust, they'll gleefully work for you and everyone wins. We even had a young gardener that left to study engineering and he actually came back. He still comes by every weekend to tend the plants. Man, that sounds nice. Let me know if you're ever in need of a job, I might find you something. Thanks for the offer. Wait. I just realized something off with the whole tech gold rush story. What would it be? Wouldn't all the tech be patented anyways? I get trying to crack it in the first place, but... that would be true if the tech was patented in the first place. It isn't? Zaibatsu have been so paranoid about making the White Knights untouchable that they never patented anything. The thing is, patent by necessity reveals how you do something. So the idea is you get protection for showing the world how you do it for a limited time. Patent would be in a database that someone could hack and retrieve valuable info from. Not to mention they've been using tech from other companies without any authorization. Patents are public knowledge. And no patent registry in the right mind would approve of that global shutdown signal. Let alone how it immobilized everyone still inside one of those suits. Generally, they don't care what the patent is on. It's more focused on innovation, not what it does. So the ones that were upholding the law did so using suits that are by all means illegal. The irony runs deep, wouldn't you say? Why do it though? When you have so much money, you start thinking you can screw around with the rules. All that power makes you think you're above every law there is. And this it is what happens when those with money start making the rules. I'm curious though, have you ever covered up any F-ups by using money? I think we've all done things we're not too proud of at some point of our lives. Well Jill, I gotta go, always a pleasure. Please come again. Ah, hi Ma. No hello? You're pretty insistent on that one, aren't you? It's basic courtesy, something I will fight to uphold. First the greeting stop, then saying please and thanks stops, and before you know it, boom, total anarchy. You're exaggerating. I'm not. In fact, I'll go through the door again and I expect you to properly greet me this time. Fine. Hello Jill. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. Is some visitor, I muttered, tapping at my chamber door, only this and nothing more. You overdid it, you totally overdid it. Quote the bartender, I did not. Do you like poetry? I had a phase. Can I get you something? Let's start with a big cobalt velvet. Sure. Alphabet, please. And next. Here, thanks. Oh yeah, there's something I've been wondering about for a while. Does the name Shadowmaster 69's Chronicles ring any bells? Eek! Wow, you went pale. No, that name doesn't ring any bells. May 22nd. Today my daily card readings told me that I'd meet great change thanks to an old man. My biology teacher told me I had been picked for an inter-school contest with my latest essay. I just knew a scientific theory on the idea of auras was as revolutionary as I thought. Soon I'll bring the world into the occult science singularity. Later entries don't seem to have gone that well though. Mentions of being laughed at, being lectured on why the essay was wrong. Jill? I made sure to delete that blog, no evidence should be left. I can think of at least 6 different sources off the top of my head that have all the stuff archived. Why? Ish, relax, it's not that bad. What do you mean it's not that bad? Don't you realize how embarrassing it all is? We've all been young, Jill, relax. It's not like you're still like that nowadays. That would have been embarrassing. You're not still like that, right? Gods no, I gave up on that whole occult stuff. It's just that remembering all that stuff is... I don't know, I like the way you looked. All dressed in black with the rare accessory popping out thanks to the colors. I mean, at least you had the decency to use makeup and take care of yourself. So you have a pic. Oh god, you have a effing pic. Why do you do this to me? Why do you dig out the sins of my past? I was bored. Last Friday I had to take my mind off the whole Diana thing, so I ran a small background check on you. So, the whole Diana thing... Basically, if you make this Lizzie, Diana being her sister, you got a good comparison. Simple stuff, just checking past internet activity. Please don't run background checks like that. I just used the search engine, you know, I didn't request documents or anything. What led you to the page? You do realize your main mail account everywhere is still the one you used back then, right? Like I said, relax. You were obsessed with occultism, I wanted to kiss all the boys. And I kinda almost accomplished that in middle school, which still sorts of haunts me today. Never underestimate the lengths all classmates will go to track you down. Especially if they think you're still the girl that kissed them for fun and they're lonely to boot. Aww. We all have things we're not too proud of as adults. Now I know how criminals feel when evidence is used against them. I have to ask though, why the 69? It was supposed to be 69, not 69, like in reference to both the lovers and the hermit. I was convinced it meant wise choices. Jill, there's nobody that would read that as 69. I was 12 at the time. Even at 12, I effing knew that what a 69 was, just how innocent were you back then. You have no idea. Well, let's sweeten up things a bit. I'll have a sugar rush, sure. Here. This is the thing. Hey Alma, speaking of the past, what was your last long-term relationship like? That's sudden. You dug through my past, I've earned the right to dig through yours. Fine. Long-lasting relationship, huh? Romantic ones, I'm guessing. Yup. Well, I've had about 4 boyfriends who I described as such, that I've introduced to my family and all. The first one was in high school. I broke up with him because he cheated on me. Ouch. I remember the other girl trying to pick a fight at me, just saying keep the effort. The second one was during my freshman year. I broke up with him after he thought it'd be funny to punch me in the arm. He starts with a friendly hit and before you know it... Anyways, that sounded violent. The other guy I met shortly after I dropped out. He was interested in marriage, but he wanted to get married after only half a year or so of knowing him. And then there's Richard, who I spent almost 4 years with him. We got along pretty well. We had awesome chemistry, I truly loved him. But as time went by, there was a rift that started separating us. He just didn't like my family. He didn't. Moreover, he wasn't a family person. He distanced himself from his own and voiced that he didn't want kids. There was a part of me that wanted to believe, even if just for a little bit, that maybe he'd change his mind. But as much as I loved him, that one detail brought a growing gap between us. And at one point I just had to break up with him. But I'm not here to depress you. Bring me a beer, will ya? Sure. Thanks for telling me that, by the way. Don't mention it. Okay, one more question and we're even. Wow, you really are embarrassed of that vlog, huh? Sure, ask away. At what age did you get those implants in your boobs? Jill, I love you and I know you're saying that in jest. But I've lived through so many rumors about me getting plastic surgery that I can't and won't take it as a joke. As such, and honoring our friendship, I'll just say this. They're real and they're spectacular. Now ask the real question before I slap you. I'll grant you one and only one chance to call me by my full name as a compensation then. I gladly take your offer. It's funny that you mentioned slapping because my real question was, why did you get your hands chopped? Chopped? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first is that I spend lots of time typing and these replacements help me avoid carpal tunnel syndrome. Oh, there's other utilities like how you can interface with many devices. For example, there's a tiny computer embedded in my glasses. If I move my index finger, it acts like the computer's cursor. There's lots more, but they're small things that don't sound that impressive when I say it out loud. I'd like to have a computer in my glasses. How did your family take the operation? They took it well enough, except for my mom. She freaked out for months. She even went to the hospital to ask for my hands. Don't you miss them? Sometimes, but just during emotional moments. But as luck would have it, someone else has them. Shortly before my operation, there was an accident on the highway. One of the victims was this young lady whose right hand got completely crushed. Ouch. I told them to check if we were compatible and all that. I mean, implants are not everyone's first choice if they can get a natural replacement. A bit of cosmetic treatment and it could pass off as her original hand with no problem. This is weird. Last I heard, we were compatible and the family agreed to the donation. I don't know what became of her, but I hope she's fine. And you didn't tell your mom about that? I didn't want her pestering the poor girl. So are we cool now? Are we even now? Are we? You were pretty pissed about my comment regarding your boobs. Again, I'm sorry, it sounded a lot less rude in my head. Yeah, don't worry about that. Besides, I get to call you Julian once. Now you don't. Why? You just called me by my full name. Are you serious? One chance and only one chance, and you just used it up. Damn it. Surprise! Hey Alma, this might be a weird tangent, but do you believe in ghosts? Hey, not particularly, no. Although there was this paper I read once that was quite interesting. It proposed a scenario where nanomachine clusters would leave the body after death and then acted as a collective hive mind for residual brainwaves. The result would basically be an image not unlike a hologram. Of course, the hypothesis fell through because such nanomachine density is impossible in a body. Even 5% of the amount needed is enough to make the blood too dense for the heart. And it's not like brainwaves are potent enough to create those reactions. Still an interesting read though. I see. Don't give me that look. It's not my fault that you convince yourself that you're crazy. Well, I'll leave then. See ya tomorrow. See ya. All done? I am. What about you, Gil? For some reason, the idle girl left him like that, it seems. You think? It might have been while he was out. True. Hey boss, you're a fan of wrestling, aren't you? I mean, you were a wrestler, so... That I am, yeah, why? I was wondering, isn't wrestling fake? Aren't twin tails for little girls and teens with 8th grade syndrome? 8th grade what? When you get down to it, wrestling is as real as a soap opera. I mean, you don't really expect a legal lawsuit to be fixed in a ring, right? Sure, in my ideal world, you would solve legal problems for good old wrestling, but... Ahem. No, seriously, 8th grade what? But you don't go around calling soap operas fake. It's a show, it just so happens to use fights as an expression. You might as well see it as a unique form of theater. Besides, considering the injuries many wrestlers suffer, it's not all fake. Huh, I didn't think about it that way. Sadly, I won't stand for anyone bad-mouthing wrestling. And I have to go and break Gil's back to make you humble. Oh well, wait, what? Come here, F-boy. Ah! 8th grade what? Oh,